not at all. If masturbation is cheating, I don't think I'd ever end up in a relationship. Hey, how we doing?
Thank you so much for being here. Let's start with asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally?
Originally, I am from San Joaquin County in California. I'm 24, 6 foot, love picnics and sunsets. My earliest memories, I was being told by everybody in my classes, like, oh yeah, like, oh, I'm having sex, like, oh yeah, I feel so good to beat your meat and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, honestly. So I just remember one time that I decided to try it out, and I don't know, I was just like, oh, like it gets hard, like, why not? Let's figure it out. And I just didn't have anything come out. It was kind of like my first experience. After that, it finally started coming out, and it scared me a little bit. It scared me a little bit, but it was good, really, really good.
Was there a big gap period between when you sort of started touching yourself and when you actually started to like climax?
There was a huge gap. I think it took me 3 or 4 tries at masturbating before something finally started coming out of me. So once that happened, I was kind of accumulated to it not happening. So when it did, I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what to do with it. And I'm just like freaking out. I was like, oh, I hope no one finds this. Like, Okay, so, I mean, it's kind of stereotypical. I would use underwear or socks or towels to kind of bust into. And I would consistently use the same one over and over again. And after a while of these objects passing through the laundry, my father ran up to my room and was like, stop busting so many fucking loads in your socks. It's getting annoying. You're ruining your shit. I was just like, he knows. Nowadays, I'd say the average is like 4, maybe 5 times a week.
What do you think about the most when you're doing it?
Most of the time, I just like to use my imagination if I can help it. I will just create a scenario or some kind of fantasy and I'll just play it out. It always kind of varies a little bit, just kind of whatever mood I'm in. For example, it might be some stranger off the street just decides that, they like me and they just make a move or something. I don't know. Just all kinds of little fun, like movie stuff, I guess.
When you close your eyes, do you sort of see a movie playing out?
I try to. Every once in a while, it's really good. Other times, depending on what's going on, it makes it a little bit harder. I'd say yes. Again, I think it depends on person to person. For some people, it may make them not want to have sex as often. For me personally, if I'm masturbating consistently and more often, it just makes me all the more hornier, and it makes me want to just pursue that further. God, the weirdest thing I've used to masturbate. It's kind of a list if I'm being honest with you. Let's see, there was, the good old classic couch cushions. I used a VCR player. I used a Gatorade bottle. Got it stuck, so we didn't do that again. I used a vacuum, and then I don't know if you guys remember the old little clacker rocks that you get, like those long little oval rocks where you throw them up in the air. They would magnetize together and make those cool sounds. I used to put one up my ass and I would use the other one to pull it back out.
How long does it usually take you to finish?
It depends, but I'd say the average is anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. Oh, I have been blessed to be placed in environments where I get to experiment and really discover myself. So I've tried all different kinds of things, but in doing so, I've definitely found what works for me. What works for me is a lot of light but extensive ball play. In the beginning, a lot of focus on the tip to really put out that extra feeling of stimulation, since right there is where I tend to be the most sensitive. And then from there, just gradually pick up the speed until I can get to that point. I am a huge fan of sensuality and really pertaining to the five senses if possible. So for me, just light, delicate touches, kissing, exploring down the body slowly, the heat of someone's breath, those are all things that I love to try and incorporate if possible to really, really keep them and myself in that moment. Look, I don't know if I've just had bad luck or not, but ball play, I really don't seem to get that from my partners, and it kind of makes me sad.
Do you ask for that? Do you feel like you have to ask for it?
I do feel like I have to ask for it. And even then, sometimes we'll get just like a little something, but it's not quite what I'm looking for, you know?
This is something that comes out often. People that feel like masturbation counts as cheating. Like, do you think masturbation counts as cheating?
Oh, not at all. If masturbation is cheating, I don't think I'd ever end up in a relationship. I think that it's actually very important because there is a lot of energy and work and feelings involved with putting yourself with somebody else on that level. So having a chance to just be you and do exactly what's going to make you feel good and just get that quick release, whether or not it's because of stress or anxiety or just because you're bored and you want something to do, I think it's extremely healthy. Oh, God. Blue balls. I hate to say I've had it. Glad to say I've only ever had it twice in my life. Both times, it feels kind of like that super, super intense cramp that you'd get in like the back of your thigh or something where you just can't move and it just keeps intensifying and getting worse, while also having like a 7-pound kettlebell just sitting in your sack. It is an absolutely excruciating feeling. Whenever I prepare for a shoot, I typically like to give myself a good chunk of time before I'm supposed to be there. I like to slowly wake up, not feel any kind of stress or pressure to get myself moving quick. I'll immediately hop in the shower, and while I'm in there, I'll have a cup of coffee being made. I'll enjoy that, and I'll just casually cruise over, and I'll put on some feel-good music to get myself into the right headspace, and I'll just try to keep myself relaxed and remember that at the end of the day, this is all so damn fun. There's not a reason to stress. Well, I would say you're not the only one. It's not exactly a subject that's comfortable to talk about. I do think that it needs to be, though. I do feel it's very important for you to understand yourself as well as others. So figuring out what's going to make you happy is more or less an essential. Like, if you don't know that, then, I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing?